What's going on, brothers and sisters? How are you this evening? Happy Wednesday to you. Happy Veterans Day. Actually, to all of you wonderful vets out there, I want
Yeah,
to tell you that Nick and I, we love you guys to pieces. And by the way, actually, this is the Nick and Izzy show, too. If you're sitting over there wondering, like, who are these two dudes that just popped up on my phone screen that I'm scrolling through the news feed to see? I am Izzy, and then that is Nick. That's right next to me on the screen over there. How you feeling today, brother? Happy Veterans Day, right?
yeah. Happy Veterans Day, as in Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there, and actually working for a talk radio station like we do in the conservative platform. Happy Veterans Day to everyone out there.
Yes, and vets, let me tell you guys something. You guys are amazing. And I mean, I know right now with everything happening in our world, a lot of things are going on though, but we just want to remind you though that you are, whether you're in the Air Force, you're in the Navy, you're in the National Guard, you're in the U.S. Army, you are so loved because we as U.S. citizens cannot thank you enough for protecting us and fighting for us. And by the way, actually, I just got to give a big shout out to my uncle Jeff that's out in Los Angeles, California right now. Jeff, Izzy loves you so much. And he is actually a veteran himself because he was in the Air Force for a while. And I believe that's actually how like my uncle fell in love with planes actually, because I'll tell you, like I had videos of him actually on my phone and also pictures that he showed me from when he was in the military from back in the day. It was really cool how they were flying the planes in the sky. It's just really awesome, like what they do in the military to me.
Yes, it's amazing. And by the way, thank you to everybody protecting our rights so that guys like us can do this type of show on Facebook Live. And there it is. Veterans Day salute to the troops. As I was telling Izzy last night we needed to come up with a name, so I just came up with a name. And by the way, my Uncle George, who's kind of in teetering health right now, he was also in military also, so I want to shout out him as well.
Nice.
My grandfather Jerry, who's not around anymore, he was in the Navy, so I have it throughout my family a little bit. Veterans Day status, but we just want to come on and be thankful to everybody who goes all around the world, protects our freedoms, and does everything that I guess maybe we're a little too afraid to go do.
You know what's so funny, Nick? I got to tell you, when I was at Wegmans, and this was about like 4 months ago, I met these two guys, and they were actually veterans, and they were in the United States Army, and they came in and they looked at me, and I guess they saw how tall I am because I'm 6'5", and I'm kind of like a big broad boy, which is what some people kind of call me. And I'll tell you though, people used to always look at me and say, "Oh, your mama must be spending so much money on food, child, because you so big and tall, hey." And I said to myself, I was like, "Yeah, she kind of does. We do spend a lot of money on that though." And when the veterans in the store saw me, they came up to me and said, "You know what, man, have you ever thought about going into the military?" And I said to myself, I was just like, I never really thought about it, but I don't know if really it's for me, because I don't know. I just feel like I'm just such a too nice of a person to really be able to kind of like get a gun and just be like, boom, but I don't think I could really actually do it though. But a lot of people are just naturally, I feel like, built for it too.
Yeah, and I want to, like I said, I want to reiterate again. I want to thank the troops, everyone who's out there fighting the other bad, unfortunate countries that are trying to come after us and trying to take away freedoms and everything. Like,
right.
These people, these brave men and women do a lot of things that a lot of people can't do. They go out there, they fight, and you said like they're shooting guns and they're throwing bombs. They're doing everything to protect us so that we can be free. The land of the free, home of the brave, right?
Right. You're completely correct about that, brother. And I mean, and here's another thing too that a lot of people may not realize with the veterans. But when they get deployed, a lot of the times, not all the time, but most of the time, they don't come back for a couple of months because they're out there just doing their thing for us. And whether they're staged in Afghanistan, some of them are out over in Nigeria. You have some of them that are out over, and I believe it's Europe, if I'm not mistaken, too. They're just all over the world that they get staged. And I think it's just phenomenal because I got to tell you, especially like if you're like in a relationship and you have like your significant other at home, and if you happen to have kids, I mean, I think that's such an amazing thing that you are willing to dedicate your time, my brother or sister, and just go out there and just do your thing, and to let your family go. Because some people actually, they just, I feel like, are just, they have a trouble leaving their family of something like this. And the military really does take care of you in very good ways, I believe.
They do.
They do.
They don't. People don't realize, like, we need to protect these people, and it just seems like over the past couple of years, over the last decade, like, we don't do enough for these veterans who fight for many years, many decades upon decades, to keep this country the best country in the world, in my opinion. And we need to do more to protect these people, because some of them can't afford to pay rent or have a job, or they suffered such a catastrophic injury or mental health. That's a big thing. And Izzy and I spoke, like, we're going to cover over the next couple of weeks, we're going to talk about mental health, and we're going to talk about physical struggles, especially in the COVID pandemic. And I don't think we talk about it enough for veterans who go out and fight, that sometimes it's a mental struggle, and we need to be there for them. Don't you think?
Oh, I agree totally, 100%. And unfortunately, and I just really hurts my heart to say this, but I was talking to a brother the other day, and he posted a status on Facebook that really touched my heart, because I have a very special place in my heart for people who are less fortunate than I am, and also for the homeless population. And unfortunately, I do believe that there is a lot of veterans out there, which I really, to this day, since I was born, I just cannot even believe that really it's like this. But I believe a lot of them are out there homeless. And I think we have to have some kind of way, because no one deserves to be homeless. No one in the world.
No one. Never.
Never. And I just think that there should be a program for just not only the veterans, though, but just for anyone out there, because I believe that there is a lot of them, unfortunately, on the streets right now. And it's just very interesting, because, like, they're fighting for us. So, you'd think that they would have, like, a huge homeless program if, God forbid, it did ever happen. Because, sometimes we go through life and we go through challenges to where, like, we don't know what the outcome is going to be. And we always, want to stay positive. We always want to make sure that as we're living our life, we want to, surround ourselves with good people. And it's unfortunate how some people get into situations like that. And, we don't want to ever see any of that happen, though. And I hope we move into a good direction. And also with the mental health, like you said, too, Nick, mental health is something that I don't believe is talked about a lot either. Because I think that that's something to where, like, some people may look at you, and unfortunately some folks will judge in that kind of matter, and they'll be like, well, you're just really messed up. But also some folks may not understand too that mental health is something to where, like, only that person knows what's really going on, though. And you might have doctors, and you have, like, the psychiatrists try to diagnose it, and they're there to help you as well too. But that's a big problem that a lot of people struggle with.
Right. And just like I said, you and I both have big hearts when it comes to people with mental health and physical health, and understanding when people need help. We'll put I don't know, did you put our email? We have our email. We'll put it up there, nickandizzy@gmail.com. You want to reach out to us and tell us your story, we will be happy to have you guys on an episode so we can talk about mental health. And I put it out there today. If you're a veteran and you're watching this and you want to leave a comment, and actually I see a comment there, not for there's the email, by the way. There you go, Izzy.
nickandizzy@gmail.com.
And I see there's a comment there, Izzy. This is actually someone who just started liking us today.
Yes, and shout out to you too, Danny Lewis. It's so funny because I actually got the notification when I was on the phone with you last night talking about doing some show prep, right? And that came through, and we both said to each other, we were like, hey, we got another like on the page. Hey, Danny, shout out to you too, brother. And he just said that, hi guys, enjoyed the election stream. Thank you so much for watching that one. That was that was a surprise one. That was a pretty big one too, though. And I think we did a great job with that. And, by the way, I mean, if you've been watching us and you have been following us and you have been just there since day one, we thank you so much, though. And we just got a new logo too. If you wouldn't mind heading on over to the page and checking that out, and leaving your comments about that, that'd be awesome too.
Yeah, Izzy, by the way, that was a great design on the logo. You really nailed that one.
Oh, thank you so much, brother. I'm somebody who I love to brand things, and I love to make different things to kind of like give somebody a brand. And I thought our logo. And thank you, brother. I thought it was really good myself. Yeah.
But I want to get back to the, as you know, we're as you can see it on the bottom here, Veterans Day, salute the troops. It's a special day, obviously. It's Veterans Day, and we want to dedicate the episode to people in the military, Navy, people who are veterans. If you're active or retired or you fought for our great country, this is a salute to all the brave men and women out there who really have done the work of the country.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, it's so crazy because usually there's a lot of parades, but just with everything happening, unfortunately, this year we didn't really have a huge Veterans Day parade like we usually do.
I don't know. They've been holding a lot of virtual parades. I know that. But I don't know. I at our rate, where we work, 77 WABC in the city, they did a yellow ribbon ceremony. I don't know if you saw the video, Izzy.
I did, yeah. It was really good. I loved it.
And they actually had Tony Orlando there. Well, if you think about it, it was yellow ribbon, and he has a song called "Tie a Yellow Ribbon Around the Old Oak Tree." So that's where that kind of came from, which was kind of cool. I'll admit that was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, no, definitely though. I mean, I think Tony Orlando. I mean, shout out to him too because he's actually on our station now, and you can catch that brother every Saturday evening from 10 p.m. to 12 midnight. And before that you have Cousin Brucey, and then after that you have one of my brothers, Frankie Russo. So there's a great lineup at the station, and we just thank you guys so much for supporting everyone. Because I feel like with WABC we're you and I are part of the team. So I feel like, just if you've been listening to our station, I mean, you keep us going, and I'm sure us and upper management, we love you. Well, I know we love you, upper management.
Yeah, follow us. Like I said, if you want to find us on Facebook and Twitter, at Nick and Izzy Show, you'll find us, and we'll try to respond to comments. We're working on some new stuff as well for this show. I think Izzy's going to start doing a daily inspiration for this channel or show as well. And we're working on some other stuff. Also check out our YouTube channel where all our episodes are going to be as well, at Nick and Izzy Show. And actually, you can see we just put out a crazy promo, right, Izzy?
Yes, and it's actually running right now. And oh my gosh, I have never done acting like that. Well, it was kind of like us being us, but I mean, it was pretty cool though. It was interesting though how we did that. I feel like
it was funny at the end because I kept saying to Izzy, do I take out the laughing where we each turn our heads? This is a little inside to how we cut the promo out. But I said, do I leave it? Is it weird that it's just us turning our heads and laughing? I said, that's natural. I think that actually made it more personable to people, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely, Nick. And I mean, you did an amazing job putting that promo together because it was something where you guys should have seen us. I mean, he was telling me, he was just like, yeah, man, you don't have to do this. You have to do that. Because I have this tendency of when I start getting going with something, especially when I'm on the air, if I'm not live, I usually think twice about something. And if I am live, like how we are here, I just do my best if something goes off my mind to kind of just ad-lib it and put it to the side. But it's all practice though, because this really is practice being on the air, and it's something else.
It's just funny though, because I kept directing him. I'm like, Izzy, easy. Just you don't have to say 1,000 words. Do you remember the saying I told you?
I do a little bit, yeah.
Well, the saying for most people out there in the world of radio, because it mostly is in radio, not TV, is I say, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. Simple, stupid. That's actually a really good saying. I've never heard about that before either.
Because basically, I was telling Izzy, just relax, and you don't have to say 1,000 words. Just say what's on your mind, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's what, honestly, I think my whole problem was with everything too. And what's so interesting too, actually, being that it's Veterans Day right now, I would love to really hear, and if you're a veteran, watch this right now, if you could please comment for us, or if you could, yeah, that'd be wonderful, because we would love to hear what the day of the life is being a veteran. I thought about this actually earlier because I was going to try to see if I can get somebody on here.
I was trying to do it also.
You're trying to do it also too. I think it was just actually we'll have to do that in the future though, definitely, dude, to try to get somebody who, because I feel like that'd be awesome to hear about what they go through every day. And actually, shout out to a couple more people who are veterans right now. One to my neighbor Lauren G, and shout out to you too, sis, because she's in the Navy right now. And
Wow.
also to somebody who we actually interviewed here right on the show, and it was this year. And to Danny B, and shout out to you, Danny, because he was in the military as well too.
Yeah, he's a really great guy. If you really want to get to know Danny B and Jamie, who we're going to try and have on again, hopefully in the future, he's a really good guy. She's really awesome as well.
Oh,
So-
yes, she is. They are in a video with them about Parents of the Year on YouTube. And by the way, thanks for watching that, because I mean that did very well. And I mean, they are just such like, because
They're
I
amazing people. Yeah.
oh yeah, I mean, I said to myself, I'd probably be like a crazy parent because I would let my kids do it.
I feel like I would just be like, all right, ice cream every day. Just figure it out. Just don't eat too much of it.
And it's actually so funny that you mentioned that too, though, because we went to the store earlier, guys, right? And we got some ice cream, and you should have seen us though, because like we went to Walmart and they have so many different types of ice creams there, and I'm obsessed with ice cream. Like if that could be a meal I can eat the rest of my life, child, I'm telling you, I will eat it the rest of my life. And what do we get? We got peanut butter something.
Yeah, peanut butter and chocolate. I can't wait for that.
Peanut butter. Look, he said he was like, I can't wait for that. Oh, me too, David. I can't wait for it either. And
You like all the crazy. You like the crazy mixed flavors, right?
I do, brother. I really do. See, it's funny because let me tell you a story though about when I was a little bit younger though, me and one of my brothers, Anthony.
Oh,
Because
it's long story time. Yay!
yes, it is. Yes, it is. We have to put that up for 1 second, and now we will go back to the troops. But it was so crazy because when I was like 14 and 15, me and my brother Anthony, we used to go in the ShopRite all the time. And we would kind of have like these, not arguments, but kind of these big debates about which brand of ice cream is better. So I always was obsessed with like Turkey Hill and Edie's. And by the way, I don't really see Edie's ice cream too much.
I don't see Edie's anymore. Even here in New York, I don't see Edie's.
Yeah, isn't that so interesting? Because I thought they were like a big freaking brand, because they're actually called Dryers out on the West Coast. And here, for some reason, it's called Edie's. I don't know how that is, though. But I'll tell you what's so funny is I remember like we would do these taste tests about which ice cream's better. And he was always just like, nah, man, Friendly's is the best. Forget that Turkey Hill mint chocolate chip that you like and all that kind of stuff. And I used to look at him, I'd be like, child, I know you be sneaking getting that little ice cream when I'm upstairs in your room sleeping. And he told me that one day, he was like, yeah, you're right, I did. It's actually not that bad, though. But even though I still like Friendly's more.
It used to be Carvel for me. Then I just didn't. I'll eat Carvel. I'll eat those like frozen brown bonnets, like the chocolate bonnets. They're covered.
Ooh.
But like I do that from time to time still. But I don't know. I used to like what they had at Carvel called the Carvalanche.
Carvalanche. See, I've heard of that before.
That's where they mix the topping into the ice cream, and it's like in a shake cup.
Right. And I mean, it's very good. I heard. I never had it before from Carvel. I haven't been to a Carvel in like so many years, but I'll tell you where I have been recently, though.
Where?
SONIC. This is how you Sonic, baby. I am like, and you can even ask them though, guys, right? How obsessed am I with Sonic?
Very obsessed.
Like I am just so, because I love every one of their foods they have there.
I feel like you'd eat it every day if you could, really.
they it's not only they know me so well.
There's a Carvel's in Farallon, so you can try the Carvel's in Farallon.
Oh, that's actually a good thing. We're gonna have to go down there pretty soon, though. But yeah, I love, and every time I go there, I get something called the M&M Sonic Blast, and I mean, they make some great ice cream at Sonic. It's like the McFlurries, but it's on like a whole new level now. It's just
By the way,
a little touch of whipped cream and all that good stuff.
you might laugh, but I've never had a Sonic Blast.
Either. I want to try that.
And you, as many times as we've been there, and you have never had a Sonic Blast.
I gotta try it next time we go.
Really? Because you know what it is? He always gets smoothies when we go out, which is great because I love smoothies too.
Yeah, no, I gotta switch it up. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, we gotta go, boy. We gotta crash you
Yeah,
up.
I've never had a Sonic Blast. I mean, I was always a Carvel kid growing up.
Yeah, Carvel's really good. But you know what's crazy about Friendly's though? I heard that Friendly's is actually like filed for bankruptcy on a
Yeah,
couple.
they have. Yeah.
Now, isn't that so sad? Like that was a family-owned business for all these years, and I'm just like, no, Friendly's, because there was one down the street from my house, and
It
closed
It's
out.
funny that you mentioned family made business, because I was telling Izzy earlier about a Facebook conversation that went 0 to 60 in such a stupid way, because people, and we'll get back to the veterans in a second. We started this conversation with veterans. We're going to get back to them. Trust me.
Yeah.
But I was putting up a joke on Facebook, like half joking, half serious. And I wrote, if I can find it. Oh, here it is. King Cuomo at it again is what I wrote. And Izzy knows from us working in the political news talk field, he understands what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of people right now that live in Manhattan or even in the surrounding areas as well too, they're not 100% too happy with some of the leaders here, and it's crazy.
Like, it was half joking, half serious. And I'm not going to say who the person is, because that's not right. But someone who I used to go to high school with just went 0 to 60 in 3 seconds.
Unfortunately, brother, that has been happening like way too much. You know what's so funny? Like, I was in the car last night with my friends back here, and I loved them to death. And you know what I told them? I said, you know, politics is just something to me to where it's like I can only talk about it with certain people. And it's like, I don't understand this until the day I'm going to die. How come we have to let politics ruin our friendships and relationships? And how?
I agree.
Yeah.
You and I have spoken about this a ton. Like, from 3 months ago when this whole BS started, or even 6-7 months when this BS started, to now. I'm going to read you one comment from this conversation to show you how dumb this conversation is, okay?
Okay.
So I said, King Cuomo at it again. Person says to me, excuse my French, but yeah, because fuck science and common sense, right? See, it's amazing how people go 0 to 60 when I never said anything exactly in the comment, right?
Yeah, and you know what? That's like the whole problem is, though. And who knows what you were really about to like, and you didn't even really mean that, too. It's like people make these judgments, and that's what the biggest problem is, though, because it's like, now see, whoever commented on that was most likely what their thinking was, and they didn't take the time out, unfortunately, in my opinion, from what you're telling me, Nick, to even really like go deeper into it and ask you like, how come you're like writing this, or what's the reason for it? Now, see, that would have been something that could have been a little bit more easier, I think, to kind of like go by and kind of respond to. But if you're just going right out there and just saying, well, you just don't believe science, so fuck you, it's just like,
it has nothing to do with science. Trust me, I understand science. I understand we're in a COVID pandemic. You don't have to tell me that a million times. I haven't stopped working since this pandemic starts. You can tell everybody, even everyone around you, like even Izzy knows. I stopped working for 2-3 days because we had a positive test in our old offices. It's the only reason why I stopped. After that, Izzy, confirm it. I have not stopped working.
No, you really have not, though. And I mean, you have done just a phenomenal, and I mean, just a phenomenal job. You know, working back and forth and things of that nature, Nick, because I remember how you were when this all first started. We were calling each other every night, and you were like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. This is crazy.
We were in a panic, and you and I were down to 15 hours and 10 hours a week, and we were still working. And Izzy remembers, I got on a train from Hicksville to Long Island through this pandemic and basically said, Izzy, I called Izzy from the train. I'm like, Izzy, there's no one on here.
Yeah, it was just crazy. You know, I noticed that the traffic is actually starting to pick up a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
Going in and out of New York City, which is good because I kind of like that. You know, we got to be careful, but I like that, though, because at least the economy is rolling. And I see a lot of people are spending money out at different places, which is an amazing thing. I mean, I just went to Walmart and dropped like $62, which is all good, though, because Walmart, I love you, and you're sitting right back over there, and eventually,
Walmart, you want to sponsor us? That'd be perfect.
It would be, right?
But you know what? I'm tired of people going 0 to 60. I'm tired, and I'm upset right now because I want to talk about Veterans Day, and I want to talk about people who really deserve the attention, but I have to stop for the bullshit that goes on with people going 0 to 60 with politics, and I'm tired of people just automatically assuming that people think one way or the other. It's because of this damn election that, like you said, people can't lose their friendships because they can't control themselves.
Right, and that's what the whole complete issue is right now. It's just like I don't understand like how like if somebody has like a different opinion than you, how come we have to like attack them? It's almost like people build a brick wall around them, and the brick wall, it should have something written on it that says like screw your opinion, because that's really like how it is. And honestly, I gotta tell you though, brother, unfortunately, this is really only the beginning though, because there's a lot of things that are very sketchy for a lot of people out here. Like some people are saying that the election was rigged. Some people are saying it's not. And I think that's what's really bothering a lot of people. And if I can give an estimated time to where I think things are going to get better and more peaceful for our country is, I would say spring of 2021. And I would give that about a 50% chance that things are going to really start turning around in that sector. We really need to reunite and come together as one. That's what we have to do.
I agree. It's terrible. And I just want to clarify one more thing, because people like a few people jumped down my throat in that whole thread that you saw saying that I don't care. I because I want things to be open. It's not that I want things like certain things shouldn't be closed, but we can't remain closed forever. And you know this is like we'll all be out of work. We won't be able to pay bills. We won't be able to do anything. That was my point. Like, and then people would say, "Well, 10 p.m. curfew has nothing to do with close." I said, "You're missing my point."
Yeah, it's what's really challenging about a lot of things is that a lot of these businesses that were able to start back up when the states a couple months ago lifted a lot of the restrictions, they are in a good spot, I feel like, right now. But I believe that a lot of them, and this is very unfortunate to say this, but a lot of them, if they said if they have to shut down again, unfortunately, that might be the end of their business.
Bankruptcy.
Right. And a lot of bankruptcy has been happening. And see, here's another thing too, though, family, that a lot of us may not realize. And Chapter 11 is really a scary ass thing, because if your company files for Chapter 11, and let's say you've been working there for like 28 years, you have a strong chance of losing your pension, which is what you worked for the last 28 years at the job that you were at. And that's a really scary thing. And I think we have to really move in a direction, especially going into 2021, to where we can have the economy rolling again. And I think, what we really have to do right now is I think we have to reunite. We have to stop a lot of this hate, and we have to stop a lot of this fighting out here. And we have to do our best to calm people down. And if we can't calm them down, we have to let them go. And we have to really work towards being kind to one another, though, and letting people know and encouraging one another and spreading these positive vibes out here in this world, though, because here's another thing too, though. If we want to see a lot of positive changes happening, it's going to start with us, the American citizens who are in our country right now, who, if you look at a lot of people right now, a lot of people I feel like are just, and I understand the stress is really, could be very high for you right now. And I want to let you know it's going to get better for you. It's going to get better for you. It may take a little bit of time, but trust me when I tell you, though, I know I said this actually a couple times, though, but my friend, I had $500 in my bank account back in February of 2020. And by the grace of God and by the grace of the positive vibes and a lot of the faith and a lot of great people that I have surrounded in my life, it really picked me up, though, and I was able to get back to a good financial spot right there. And right now, if we're struggling the same way that I was, it is going to get better for you, but we have to really work together, though. And that's what we have to really, I think, move into a direction in. And like you were saying, Nick, with a lot of these people that go 0 to 100 real quick, unfortunately, those people are going to, I don't know how long they're going to be feeling like this, though, but we hope it's a short period of time now.
I mean, like I'm getting comments as we speak right now. This is so ridiculous. Like I have another person who I knew back when I was in middle school saying, the high school and the middle school are closed in my district due to COVID. Okay, I'm going to say this one more time, okay? I'm not saying that we shouldn't close certain establishments. I'm saying that we can't remain closed because people can't afford to sit home and not work. I know certain businesses can work from home, but like you and I, Izzy, you're the radio station. We can't work at home.
Right, we're in the media, so and we're in broadcasting, so we really can't. We have to do that actually.
And I want to confirm one more thing to these bozos who responded to my comment. I'm an essential worker. I'm technically considered an essential worker. You are too. We work in the media. So anyone who tells me I don't understand this COVID pandemic could go take a walk.
You damn Bolsheviks and stuff.
I swear. People are just too over the top about politics, as you've said, and they need to take a rest from the politics because it's driving me up a wall.
I know, brother. You know what? We're gonna. It's definitely. Oh, we got to just pray and hope. I mean, that's the best thing I've been doing, though. It's just been going to bed each night, just reading a little prayer and just reading some inspirational stuff. And I mean, I got to tell you, too, Nick, it's been helping with a lot of having people around, like my friends and like your loved ones, I feel like, too, because at least those are people who, like, I feel like you can talk about this stuff with in certain situations. Maybe not all the time, but like a lot of times I think you could. And
one of our former colleagues who used to work at the radio station with us. Remember Lisa Ritchie?
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Lisa. She's awesome. I love her.
I think she actually made a good comment here. People need to buckle down and do the right thing. Wear the mask. Stop social gatherings like big ones. And we can hang in there until a vaccine is released. People need to be less selfish. Agreed. We're seeing a lot of gatherings. We saw it during Halloween. People were having Halloween parties of 100 to 150 people. That you shouldn't be doing that, right?
Right. Yeah. It's at least for right now. And we totally understand, guys, because trust me when I tell you, I love people to death and I love going out in Manhattan. I love going out partying. I love having a good time. And Nick will definitely tell you from all the pictures you've probably seen on my news feed of me going out with a lot of friends and stuff. But I just really enjoy life. And I think we have to really live it up to the fullest. And I think a lot of people right now, though, are at the level to where like there's no right answer with this whole situation and our lives going on right now in our nation and also our world. And I think people are just at the point now to where they just want to do anything that they really want to do. They just want to keep living their life, though. And unfortunately, there's really nothing we could do with those people. And I think the best thing is we just have to pray that good things are going to move in a good direction. And I think we definitely are, though. And, we're going to, always be here for you as well, too, though. So if you guys ever want to kind of, well, I know we're talking a lot about this stuff, but
put the email up again so people can reach us if they want.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Nick and Izzy Show.
Yeah. Nick and Izzy Show at gmail.com. You want to reach out to us if you're looking for advice. Maybe we'll start doing an advice column on top of this. I think we'd actually be good at that, actually.
Oh, yeah. I think so as well, too, because, we would love to read your comments. And, we're definitely working on our audience is growing, too. So thank you for that. And we would love to definitely hear from you. Any crazy story that you have, family. I mean,
oh, yeah.
If you are, if you have a story about like when you were driving and like some deer popped out and you got scared and you thought you were going to like go over stuff. We want you to be safe, but any crazy story, like you have stories about ice cream, you have stories about coffee, you have stories about like what kind of cars you're into. We will take anything that you want to talk about, though, and we will talk about with you.
And the biggest one, and Izzy, we can talk about this for a minute. Do you remember the idea I told you about getting certain people on the show to tell their stories also?
Right, definitely, yes. I think that's going to be very good as well, too. I'm actually going to work with a sister coming up pretty soon. And she's actually one of my clients, and she's also a great friend of mine, a sister Robin. Shout out to her. And she's an amazing artist. And I think that'd be pretty cool to talk with her, too, about like how it is being an artist and what the day of the life is of being an artist. And I think, we'll put all the power. We won't talk about anything political, none of that political crap when we get her on here. It'll just be all about artwork, which when I was in high school, I didn't understand how to do none of that stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, I tried to draw things, though. My art teacher one day was like, you did a good job with that, but
I'm not artsy by any means whatsoever. So don't look at me. Like you and I are both the least artistic when it comes to painting and drawing and doing all that. I remember when I was in art class in middle school and high school, and I'd just be like, when's lunch? Like, when's recess?
I know, you just like up there in the sky and just like, when is all this stuff going to end?
I mean, I could doodle. I don't know if that counts as drawing, but I can doodle if I had to, if I'm bored. But
not stick figures. Hey.
Maybe stick figures or bodies of some sort, but
Dude, that was like the easiest thing freaking ever. I swear, you just draw the circle, the 2 dots as the eye, you have the dot as the nose, you have the little yeah, and I have a pen. It's so funny too. So you just draw like the little mouth, and then you draw the line, and then you go this way and that way, back up, the arms, left, right, just that. That's it.
This is like telestrating, like you're telestrating on during a football game. Like, all right, Mr. Madden, can you draw the play? Well, you throw the football down the field to the end zone, and that's how you score a touchdown.
Boom, that's a touchdown. Actually, it's funny because I made fun of one of my friends for that because it was just like when he looks actually like at his phone, he almost looks at it as if if he was one of the NFL coaches. Because the one day he had it just like this and stuff like that. He was looking up at it and he was looking around his surroundings and stuff like that too. And he pulled his glasses down. I was like, dude, you actually really look like you're an NFL coach though. Like you look like Bill Belichick right now. Dude, you just got to get a headset on and you'll be there.
It's so great. By the way, I saw that the Knicks training facility come back to the New Jersey tri-state area. They actually had to close the Knicks facility due to a positive test of someone who worked in the facility. And I also saw earlier on, about an hour ago, that the Los Angeles Lakers are going to be playing with no fans for the 2020-2021 season. That starts on December 22nd.
Yeah, they just don't want to risk it, I think. And it's very crazy because I wonder how long we're going to keep going with this kind of mentality where if one person gets sick with COVID, they have to shut the whole thing down. I just wonder how long that's really going to keep going, because eventually I think it's going to come down to where, like, when we do get a vaccine out, and apparently from some articles I read,
Pfizer,
yes, has came out with something allegedly. I'm just going to say allegedly, though. You know, we got to throw allegedly everywhere. Just, make sure.
You never know what's true these days. Yeah.
Right. And allegedly they came, I say, there we go again. They came out with a vaccine that's 90% effective at treating COVID. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll keep you posted too on the page.
Just be very careful, because I don't know if you believe it, Izzy, but a lot of times when they come up with a new vaccine or cure, a lot of times you shouldn't take the first dose. Have you heard that before?
Yeah, right. I have heard that before. Yeah.
Because you never know what the effects are. Now, like you said, I've heard that same news as you did, where you said there's 90% success rate, but you got to be very careful because you don't know what the side effects are. You need to do the research and see what the side effects are. Now, I heard, I was talking about it with my parents, but I also I did some research on it as well. Apparently, Pfizer didn't take federal funding to do this for this vaccine.
Oh, see, that's a very interesting point right there, because if they didn't do federal funding, I
heard a weird reason why, which they didn't want Trump taking all the credit for it.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense, though, because, with everything going on with like the federal money and a lot of the states that are having a lot of issues right now that are asking the federal government for money, it's almost just like there's politics there, too, because then you have it where, like, if let's say Cuomo asked the government in the White House we need federal funding for $100 billion for New York City, and let's say like Trump and the Supreme Court and Congress approved that, a lot of people are going to say, well, Trump gave you the $100 billion to help your city because you just didn't do a good job. It's like politics are going to be mixed there too, and then it's just going to be, it's unfortunate, but it's like what do you do? Like, damn.
Izzy and I think we agree on this one. The election is over. It's essentially over.
Yeah, it pretty much is. And I saw that allegedly you had Georgia, and also it was Pennsylvania that got taken away from Biden because they did a lot of recounts.
Well, it's not that it was taken. It's not that it was taken away. It's that the counts are getting closer.
Right. And I saw on one article in one source also that it went from 284 votes for Biden for the electoral votes down to like 250. And I was like, whoa, that's a big drop, because that pretty much means that.
But you have to remember, all the news outlets, depending which side they're on, are going to put different numbers up. So you don't know. Obviously, you're going to get the right networks. The righty networks are going to say one thing. The lefty networks are going to say something else. So you don't know until it's official. And I have a scary feeling this is going to end up in the Supreme Court somehow. I don't know why. I just think it will.
Oh, hell yeah, dude, definitely. I mean, it's going to have to end up in the Supreme Court with all the lawsuits that Trump's going after right now. I mean, there's been some of them that have been case closed because I guess people figure, he's just not going to have a chance anymore. But it's going to be interesting to see when Biden goes into that office in a couple of more months and how this is going to play out with if he's really going to leave on a nice term, Trump, or is he really going to leave on bad terms where it's going to be a fight?
He's not going to leave on good terms. Are you kidding me? There's a report that's already come out and saying that he's refusing to concede the election, for crying out loud. So
it's interesting, Nick, because I haven't even really seen a lot of him on TV anymore. Like, I've been seeing a lot of things with
they're in litigation.
Yeah, and you know what's? Let me tell you this though, too, guys. This is a very interesting thing that I saw. So I follow Donald Trump. I follow Kamala Harris. I also follow Joe Biden on Facebook. I like their pages. And it's so funny because I was noticing about a month and a half ago when everything was really crazy to see like who was going to be our next president, that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they were getting like thousands and thousands of responses and comments and likes. I would say Joe Biden on average was getting anywhere from 10,000 as a minimum to, I would say, about like 80,000 likes. And same with Kamala Harris. And Donald Trump would get anywhere from a minimum of 50,000 all the way up until 200, maybe even sometimes 500,000 people. And it's funny because I've noticed a shift now. He still gets about those many people, but I noticed that Kamala and Joe now are actually getting so many more likes on the same level to where Trump is and how he was before the election results got heard and resolved. And it's very interesting how that shift kind of moved, because I wonder what people in their minds are really thinking about all this stuff now. Like, I think they're really confused about all this, because if we had this electronic ballot, none of this stuff would really be happening. I think that would make people calmer.
If we didn't have COVID, this would have been over on election night, because you wouldn't have as many mail-in ballots. You wouldn't have all this absentee ballot nonsense. This would have been over on election night. So,
yeah,
who knows? But I want to kind of clear this and finish this up on Veterans Day, because that's where we started.
Right.
So we need to protect our veterans, especially with the way this election is going. I don't hear anybody talking about protecting veterans and protecting people who have fought for our country, right?
Yeah, I don't really hear it a lot either, though, Nick. And it's just such like a sad situation, because, it's like, damn, like you would think like with people that they would really just, do the thing with the vets. But I mean, it's, you know what, though, veterans, it's something to where like you're loved, and you really are, though. And I mean, you are the staple, I think, to like part of this country.
Oh my God. They've already on Twitter made an account at Transition46, and it's a verified account, Biden-Harris presidential transition.
See, that's another thing too, because watch what people are doing on social media when it comes down to the fighting. Because I mean, people are going after different people, making different hate groups and making different things. And one thing I got to tell you, though, we got to be very careful about, though, is just be careful when you're out there if you mention politics. If I were you, brothers and sisters, if you happen to know the person, I would, maybe you could talk with them about this kind of stuff. But if you don't really know them, I would just kind of maybe step away with that, though. And just, I don't want you to get in trouble.
Yeah, try to we're technically past the election. I know like we said, there's lawsuits, there's going to be litigation, whatever. At this point, just try to stay friendly, keep your relationships, talk to one another. Just talk about life. Don't talk about politics. Just put politics to the side. Yeah,
talk about life. Talk about like crazy experiences that have ended up happening. Talk about when you were in high school and your first girl or boy or whatever. I don't know.
I'm about to steal a line from Ellen, even though I don't really watch Ellen, but I think she's right in this regard, even though there's been a lot of controversy with her and how she treats her staff. But be kind to one another.
Yes, love one another. She actually says, I think, like, love one another now instead of be kind. Just so see, that's another thing too, though. Politics got in the way of Ellen with that too, because You know, she used to say be kind to one another for all these years that she's been on national TV. And now she can't really say that anymore because politics are mixing it out. Like, oh, allegedly this happened. I don't know, though. But I'll tell you one thing, though. I might have to go eat some ice cream, though, because all these people over here are getting all crazy about 0 to 60, though. It's just too much for me.
Yeah, I might go find some ice cream myself now that we're talking about ice cream. Seriously.
Yeah, boy.
But in any regard, as it says on the bottom here, this is Veterans Day. Salute the troops. Everyone be kind. If you find a veteran who needs help, just lend them your ear. Let them talk. Let them come up to you and say, how's my day? How's my life? I want to talk about stuff that's going on in my life mentally, physically, and just be nice.
Yeah, be nice to someone else, though. Get somebody a coffee or something like that. Pay for somebody else's drink, or if you're able to do that in a position, like definitely, yeah, be nice to one another today and thank a veteran too.
I have an idea for us down the road, actually.
Yes,
my aunt, and I've worked with her before. We actually helped out at a soup kitchen.
Really?
Where we would go, like everyone would line up, and they had like these platters set up, and we would all go fill up those styrofoam to go cases, right. And we packed them up. And then I went with my aunt, and we brought them to places so people would have food to eat on the, during the holiday season.
That's amazing, Nick. I mean, and you know what's amazing? There's so many programs like that out there as well, too. You know, one thing that I really want to do, and I wish I was well enough to do it, but I would definitely go around and start making meals for people who are a little less fortunate than what we are. Because
I think we should do a video on it as well. Like, try to get people involved, talk to people. And then we can work on that. But I'm going to talk to my aunt and see if we can get the head of this soup kitchen to come on with us and talk about the holiday season and what's going on with hunger in the world and the country, and try to bring some people some joy during the holiday season. Because right now, this should be the time where the city, especially in New York, is supposed to be jumping. Like, we're supposed to, all the stores are usually open. They're still bringing the tree, by the way. Did you hear that?
Yeah, which is, I think, is an amazing thing to keep doing, though. Yeah, the tree we have, I mean, they can't get rid of that, though, no matter what happens. I feel like in this world with everything, they can't get rid of that glorious Christmas tree. By the way, I meant to actually take somebody last year, and I forgot. They're going to get me. I'm a bad.
I've never gone to the tree, actually. I really want to go badly.
You've never been to the Christmas tree?
Are you talking about Rockefeller Center?
Yeah,
I've never been to Rockefeller Center before.
They're thinking about pooling it for the press, and it's like everybody's mad because they're pooling everything. They're not making a lot of stuff open press, and it's like let us cover it, and it's like everything's kind of pooled now because of the virus.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I just, oh god, yeah, that tree cannot, like, because that thing is like, and you know, a lot of people go see that, and then what they do is they go skating down by the little skating rink in Rockefeller Center.
They're actually opening it. They decided that they're actually going to open the rink, so, but it's going to be socially distanced with less people. But they said they're going to open that up. What is that, Lincoln Center, I think?
I believe so, yes, Rockefeller Center.
No, I'm talking about where the rink is, isn't it?
Oh, yes. It's actually, yeah, the rink is actually, I believe right in the middle of Rockefeller Center or Lincoln Center.
And so they said they're still going to open it. So we'll see if people go down there. But like you said, New York is like the poppin' city for Christmas. Usually you see everybody out. You see everybody dressed up as Santas and all that funny stuff. But it's going to be unfortunate. Like, we're going to be walking around the city and it's going to be empty.
Yeah, brother. And they have, what is it? They have the Santa parade as well, too, in New Jersey, down in Hoboken, usually, where there's a whole bunch of drunken Santas that are walking around.
That's that one weekend, right? They pick like a Saturday or a Sunday and they do that.
Yeah, I'll never forget the one time, actually. Like, I was talking to one of my friends, and like a big, crazy fight broke out because this one guy, I guess he was maybe had a little bit too much liquor in his system, because you all know, or maybe some of you guys know, but well, you know, maybe most of you do. That liquor gets flowing. Yeah, man, sometimes that liquor gets flowing. It's you just gotta be very careful with some folks, though, because this one guy, he got so crazy to the level to where, like, this other dude he was talking to who was dressed up as a Santa, he had kind of like a big belly. One dude was like, your belly is so big, like, you need to inflate that thing. And he was drinking some Heinekens and stuff like that. And mind you, the other guy looked at him and said, who belly you talking about big? Your shit big too. And
that's awesome.
I looked at that and I was just like, oh damn.
Oh snap! Right, but
Man, that's what I really said when I saw.
But all right, we've been on. Oh my god, we've been on here for 50 minutes. All right, I think it's time.
We usually do.
Let's wrap this up. Again, Izzy and I want to thank the troops, active, retired, anything you're doing for the troops. We salute the troops. Hopefully, you had a happy Veterans Day, and just try to be nice to one another.
Yeah, definitely. Love one another. # Izzy loves you.
Good night, everybody.